Hey guys, welcome back to another adventure. Today we are again shocking in the Uintas, and we are hiking to Wall Lake, which isn't a very far hike at all. Just a quick overnight backpacking trip with me and Dylan and Jude. Should be fun. I'm thinking it might have been smarter to sit in the car for a few. Some really dark rain clouds moving in. It's part of the experience, but they have a tendency to blow in and blow out up here. You can see over there, blue sky. And you move this way, and it's just dark. So hopefully this will blow over quickly. Uintas kind of have their own personality when it comes to the weather. Well, we're getting rained on, but it's not pouring and there's no thunder or lightning, so it's bearable. We're almost to the lake. In fact, it's right up there where the bridge is.
Oh yeah, this is what I thought looked like where.
Yeah. So this is Wall Lake. I've been here many times.
Yeah.
Dylan chose our destination this time. That over there is the wall that people jump off of into the water. We're gonna camp over that way. And that's the notch.
There's a slight bit of hail now.
Is there?
Yeah, the dog had some rain.
It's not bad though. I mean, it looks like it's gonna break up. That or I'm just being optimistic. The site I have in mind is one that we've camped at before a few years ago. So hopefully it's available. It doesn't look like a lot of people are camping here. It's a Sunday afternoon. A lot of people are heading home rather than coming up. So I think we have a pretty good shot at getting the site I want. I don't see anyone really camped out there anywhere. I don't know if you heard Dylan, but there's hail coming down, little teeny tiny ones. They don't quite sting. I do feel them. There's usually lightning with hail, but this storm is surprisingly quiet. I'd rather have that than a storm. I was stuck inside a tent at Jewel Lake up here 2 years ago. Lightning hitting the ground not too far from my tent. Not fun. Terrifying, actually. There is some post-storm thunder off that way, but the storm is coming from that direction, which means that stuff already passed us.
Yeah, this is a little fort.
So this is it. Sad to say, it's been trashed over the years. This used to be a cute little campsite. Obviously people have gone nuts with it. But this is it. show you around after we get set up. We had our tent there last time, right here. Well, this is a big campsite. We're really spread out. Dylan's all set up over there. Jude is way over there. And I'm over here. The reason I'm hammock camping and not tent camping is because last weekend I already packed for a hammock trip up here to the same area, not the same lake, but I came home from work and I was so exhausted that I decided not to go, and I just slept and slept, and I don't regret it because I was very sleep deprived and I needed the rest. So it's starting to sprinkle, you can hear it. This is what's over our heads. Hopefully it blows over. It's all it's done the whole time we've been up here is sprinkle and thunder a little bit, but nothing major. We're just trying to get our shelters set up so that we don't have any further problems. And it is chilly. I've already got my long sleeves on. And we've got neighbors over that way, but that's okay, they're far away. Here's our fire pit. This is kind of ridiculous. There's a little fire pit right over there. And then this was the original fire pit. Someone filled it in with dirt. And then they made another one right next to it. This is poor camping etiquette. Anyway, we're going to sit around this one and probably make it a little bigger because that is tiny. I don't even know why they built one that small. Anyway, not much I can do about that. They should have just dismantled that if they didn't. I don't understand the logic behind it at all. Anyway, I'll stop griping. There's camp. 1, 2, all 3 of us. Well, look at that. Our storm blew over. Not very long after I talked last. There it is over there. That's the tail end of it. So we are going to go fishing. Now here's the deal with the fishing. Let's go, guys. We brought one small fishing pole. We all have our licenses. So we're going to take turns with the same pole. And if we catch a fish that's worth eating, we're going to roast it over the fire. If we catch 4 fish, that means Scraps gets one too. But that's as many as we want to catch because if we don't have a cooler, we're not car camping, and we can't hike out of here with it. So if it's small, we throw it back. If it's a good size, it's going to supplement our dinner. And we're just this close to the lake. What a view. And those giant clouds that just blew by us. This is perfect now. That rattling you hear is my quote-unquote tackle box. For years now, when it comes to backpacking, I've used an Altoids tin with my hooks and sinkers in it. And then I just bring some bait. And that's it. That's all we use. And we usually have pretty good luck. It's fine. We've only been in the water less than 5 minutes, and Dylan already thinks he has one, so we'll see.
Oh, that's just a massive snag.
It's a snag?
Yeah.
You sure?
And see the...
Okay, no fish. False alarm.
I twisted it.
That's a good spot. That's fine. Straight out. We've got some overcast stuff moving in, but nothing major. If it gangs up together, then we might have to go back to camp and take shelter, but right now it's just kind of breaking up and blowing over. It's quite beautiful, especially over the notch. think what we're gonna do, it's after 6 p.m. now, so it's dinner time. We got some wild monkeys over there on the wall. They're jumping in the water. Anyway, we're just gonna go have dinner, and then after dinner we'll come back and try again. Maybe in the evening fishing will be better. So for dinner we each have our own Ziploc bag full of snacks and mostly MRE leftover stuff that I had at home. But I've chosen to have my main entree, which is lentil stew. That's my main entree. And top it off with some dog biscuits. No, I'm just kidding. The boys have something similar in each of their bags. Similar snacks, similar idea. So I think one of them has barley stew, and then the other one has rice and vegetables. So we all have an entree and some stuff for breakfast too. We kept it light and simple this time. And my hammock has become the central hub for this camp out. Everybody's gathering here to cook and everything else, mostly because of the tarp. And we are going to have to gather some firewood for this evening too. This breeze that's kicking up is pretty chilly. Got about an hour until the sun goes behind that mountain. Fold that and put it in there. Dude. While we're waiting for dinner, we've amassed some firewood here and did some reconstruction on our fire pit. A lot wider and more roomy. Kind of moved the logs out away from the fire pit a little more. You can see where they were. I don't know why you'd want to sit practically in the fire. And whoever did this also left a lot of garbage. Tin foil in there. This is just crazy. These logs laying everywhere. I'm really disappointed because I've been coming here long enough that I remember when this was just a simple fire pit and nothing more. And over here in the last couple of years, someone built a little fortress. And when I was here a couple of years ago with my boys, there was a lot more to it than just this. It was actually kind of cool, but they shouldn't have built it, but it was still pretty neat. And then the next year we came up, it had firewood stored in it. It was kind of cool, but obviously people have taken it apart and used it in the fire pit. 2 fire pits, a 3rd fire pit. Over here, a 4th fire pit. And just across the trail that way is a 5th fire pit. How many morons does it take to build a fire in the forest? So the thing is, you don't need, this is actually part of the trail. If you look, this is trail right here, leading off into our campsite. And they literally put a fire pit in the middle of the trail. If you do build a fire pit, you should dismantle it. A couple of years ago, the 3 of us went out to the North Fork of the Provo River, and we found a place right on the river to camp, and we built a fire pit. I'll probably roll some B-roll in here of us showing the fire pit that we built, and also of showing you what we left behind before we left. We made sure to dismantle it, and there was no trace that there was ever a fire pit there. So if you build a new fire pit, take it down before you leave. Of course, make sure the fire's out. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but I've been coming to this exact spot long enough that I remember when they were just tiny kids and how intimate and wonderful this spot was. And now it's just a wide open, I don't know, trashed campsite. I don't know what people have done. I don't know. It just bothers me because I remember how it used to be. It's still beautiful, but come on. Leave it better than you found it. This should be common knowledge by now, but some people don't get it. So this is Jude's dinner. I'm not gonna film it every time we make it, so we'll just see if his is ready. It's pretty hot. Let's see. Yeah, it's nice and soft, so I think that's ready, dude. Be careful. Hot, hot, hot. So, and then we can use the water that we heated it in for hot chocolate. Where's your entree?
My pocket.
In my pocket, like you do. Go ahead, dude. Here's the vape pen. So there is Jude's barley stew. It's actually pretty hearty and filling. It looks delicious. These are vegetarian meals because they came in a United States humanitarian meal, and all of them are vegetarian. We're not vegetarians, but this trip appears to be vegetarian. We don't have any meat with us, really. Unless you count dog biscuits, there's probably meat in that. Huh, buddy? Yeah. Well, dinner was awesome. We're done. We're satisfied for now. And now we're back fishing again. And it's Jude's turn to try. He's opted for the bug net. Mosquitoes are starting to come out. Good one. Nice. All right. Sun is behind the mountain. And the wind has picked up. It's chilly. Well, we've moved down the shore a ways, and so we're gonna try our luck here. We haven't even had a bite. We've never really done well here at Wall Lake. I think the deeper water is at that end, and over on that side there's a lagoon. This is as much as we're gonna put the effort into for now. Maybe we'll try again in the morning if we catch nothing tonight. Scraps has been loving this camp out. He's just been exploring. It's the nighttime he doesn't like, so we'll see how that goes. He's gonna sleep in a tent with one of the boys. It's about 8:10 p.m. It's getting pretty chilly. There's a cool breeze coming off the lake. I think we'll give it until about 8:30. We haven't had any bites. Not even, you know, false hope. I think after this it's going to be campfire time, just keeping warm and hanging out by the fire and talking and having fun and having some hot chocolate and a cookie. A big old MRE cookie. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Jude's just been hanging out with me. Dylan's up there exploring, and Scraps is pretty content back here, so I don't know, it's just getting chilly enough that we need to start a fire for sure. It's strange because this is August in the Uintas and it's so unpredictable. Like
Sometimes it's really warm and other times it's super chilly, and this is one of those chilly trips that I didn't anticipate. I didn't even bring a beanie, so this is the warmest that I have. And the boys are using my 2 puffer coats that I have, and this is nice and fleece lined. It's warm, it's cozy. I just didn't think it would actually be that cold. So 8:30 and we'll call it. We'll go back to camp and maybe we'll try again in the morning. Maybe we'll catch something, maybe we won't. I don't know. Well, that's it. Not even a bite. Dylan's just reeling it in so we can head back to camp. The sun is quickly fading and it's getting chilly. He's walking right into our camp. She doesn't know what to do. She's not too scared of us. Look at that. She didn't run off. Is that a buck? No, it's a doe. She's so calm around us. She literally walked into our camp. How cool was that?
Yeah.
Awesome, huh? Oh, you're still zoomed in. Extreme close-up of your nose holes. There she goes, there she goes. Shh, shh, shh. That's awesome. So here's something kind of funny. I didn't bring anything to hang our bareback, but Dylan found a whole bunch of paracord in another campsite. And then I've got this orange piece, so we kind of tied it all together so we could hang our bareback. Okay, so after the deer excitement, we got our bear line up in a tree over there. It took several tries, both Dylan and I trying to get it up in the tree. Jude gathered the rocks for it, put it in a little stuff sack. And now, look what Dylan and Jude have done. Good job, guys. That's awesome. That took no time at all, did it?
It's 7 a.m. and it was a chilly night. It was very cold. Some crazy things happened. I started hearing about 3 a.m. something behind my hammock. It was like chewing. First it sounded like scurrying, so I just said, okay, it's a squirrel. And then I heard loud chewing, and up here the sound travels really well, so it sounded bigger than it turned out to be. But I got freaked out enough that I got up and made a little fire and sat by that for a while. And then as I was getting ready to climb back in, I could hear it again, so I was like, I'm gonna face this thing, whatever it is. And I got my flashlight and I searched the trees behind my hammock here, and it was a squirrel, a very large fat one that was scurrying up and down the dead pine trees behind me and picking, I think, bugs off of the tree. So that's all it was. And once I knew that's what it was, I just went back to bed. But it's chilly morning and the sun is out, but it hasn't reached camp yet. So I'm gonna stay in here. And the boys haven't gotten up yet. I slept pretty good except for the squirrel incident, but it did rain a few times, not heavily, but you know, the drizzly sprinkles were hitting my tarp a few times during the night. But I'm gonna wait a little bit. The boys aren't up, and breakfast is simple this morning. It's like Pop-Tarts and granola bars and that kind of thing. There's no cooking involved. There's still some hot chocolate to warm up with, but I'm not gonna do any of that yet. I'm gonna stay here where it's warm until the sun hits the camp, because once it does, it'll warm right up. So that's the plan. So here's what morning looks like. Oh, Scraps did okay. He's over there in Dylan's tent. Today looks a lot like yesterday. Clouds coming and going, possible rain. We're only going to be here long enough to have breakfast and head home. We won't be staying for lunch as usual. I usually don't, unless I'm staying for, if I have nowhere to be and I'm staying for a few days, I'll have lunch, but I usually don't. There are a lot of small critters flying around and running around here. It's a very active camp. A little bird hopping around right over here. Dude, where'd you go? There he is. If I'm still enough and quiet enough, they don't get spooked. Huh. Fast little guy. And over by Dylan's tent, I saw something running up and down the trees over there. Oh, there's a squirrel or a chipmunk right on the edge of that log over by that other fire pit. Yeah, it's a chipmunk, big fat one. I guess we better let Scraps out. He probably has to go to the bathroom. Dylan. You let Scraps out? Come on, buddy. Did you have a good night? Yeah. Come on. We found a pretty good branch over here. It's way up there in the tree. It's like it's still intact.
a few feet out from the tree, several feet off the ground, probably 20 feet. Pretty good hang. A lot of them aren't. That one is. Well, Dylan just headed down to the lake. The water's really calm. You can actually see the fish jumping, so he's gonna try his luck at a fish. Jude, Julian, time to get up. Still asleep. I'm gonna have some hot chocolate, Pop-Tarts for breakfast. More MRE leftovers. We got these little cups at the grocery store on the way here because we forgot our regular cups. Super light, and you can throw them away or even burn them, I guess. They're paper. Yeah, so we got an oatmeal cookie and some unfrosted Pop-Tarts. I'll probably eat those. I don't know if I'll eat a cookie. That's a bit much for my stomach. This camp is very active with squirrels trying to get in our stuff. Gotta keep our eye on it. I'm gonna double up my hot cocoa. It's probably gonna be too rich, but I was looking at the boys' hot chocolate last night. It seemed kind of watered down for what the instructions said. So, oh my gosh, this was a bad idea. That's like literally half full. I'm gonna have diabetes by the time I'm done with this breakfast. I don't want to dump that out because it'll attract the animals even more. So I'm gonna man up and drink the hard stuff. Yeah, that was quick. Yeah, that's pretty warm. Hopefully that's enough water. I think I left my spoon over by the campfire. I'm gonna have to go get it. Yeah, that's plenty of water. Oh, I gotta go get my spoon. Jeez, this is more like pudding. This is disgusting. I'm not gonna be able to drink all this. Look at that, it's like syrup. It's starting to move though. It looks amazing, but I can tell you tasting it is gonna be something else. Want some? Probably not. Well, bottoms up. Yeah, that's like how I would have made it when I was a kid. It's not horrible. It's not so sweet I can't drink it, but it's pushing it. So the plan, I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna get Jude out of bed, get him to eat, and then we're just gonna clean up camp and call it an outing. But we'll check in on Dylan and see how he's doing first. Here's the Pop-Tart, unfrosted, brown sugar. There's actually 2 of them, but they're so stuck together, I'm just eating it like this. Looking forward to going home and having a salad. My stomach is not going to like me for this.
See if the Gray Jay likes Pop-Tarts. Yep. It's too big. Size of his head. He's pecking at it. It's like, what the hell is this? Peck, peck. Oh, he's eating it. These Gray Jays, apparently they're Canada's national bird. But they're very aggressive. Not very afraid of people. They'll come right in and take food right out of your hand sometimes. I haven't had that happen, but I've seen accounts online where they did. Scavengers. Scraps is having a much better time. I think he did all right during the night. He seems pretty happy this morning. He wants to explore. He's been chasing the squirrels and the Gray Jays. He was helping Dylan fish, and now Dylan's going to go to a different part of the lake, clear across where the wall is. So I've got Scraps. And we're still waiting for the arrival of Jude. Well, a couple matters of business more than I thought. Dylan is across the lake. Jude is awake. We need more water. So, if you look, Dylan is right on the wall. A little white speck right there. He's got a gray shirt on. Anyway, and the river is on the way over there, so I've got my water filtration system and we're gonna take a hike. If Scraps will untangle from me. Well, we made it. Scraps included. This is the wall. Right where Dylan is, just above it. People climb up to that and jump off into the water. So camp is directly across the lake. That's Reed's Peak, Bald Mountain. The notch is right over here. Watson Mountain, Mount Watson is up that way. You don't care. Look how deep that is. It just drops right off the edge there. We've seen fish here many times, but we've never been able to fish it because there's always somebody here jumping off the cliffs. Dylan had a bit of a tangle.
I did it again.
Our line is pretty messed up inside the reel. It'd take me an hour to fix it, so we just threw what we have in the water down into that deep area. Dylan said he saw some fish come right up here, so we still have a chance.
See the bait.
Better weight that down to the rock before right in the water.
Hold it. The one that I got last time when we were going back with those two.
Well, my friends, I think that is it for this camp out. We're gonna put away our gear. We've refilled our water supply and also used some of it to put out some hot spots here that were still kind of smoldering. So our fire's out. Dylan's already starting. It's time to clean up. Camp Wall Lake 2023. And even Scraps here had a good time. Huh, buddy?
You had fun, huh? He's worn out. He dug himself a little hole and he's curled up in it now. So let's get camp cleaned up and then we'll head out. Well, that's it. This is where my hammock was. Let's just make sure there's a little bit of fish bait there. I guess the squirrels will enjoy that. Actually, I wonder if there's a hook in that. That would be bad. Yep, there is. Little fish hook. It must have broken off. We don't want a squirrel getting that in his mouth, poor guy. We'll take that with us. Nothing left back there. Nothing on the trees, nothing on the ground. Nothing in our cook area, which was on the other side of that log. Dylan's camp space was this nice flat spot right here. And Jude just finished up. Everything's cleaned up. We even double doused the fire, so I think we're good. It's not gonna reignite. Nothing over here either. Make sure there's nothing left behind. Been an awesome camp out, awesome backpacking trip. No fish. We still had fun, right?
Yeah.
And we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.